What's up, guys? So I want to welcome you to the final Houston Regionals video, or Texas Regionals, whatever you want to call it. And this video is pretty much just going to be me explaining to you guys what went wrong and why the trip was cut so short. And before we get into this, man, I want to apologize to my friend Butter Bob, who was at the event, who wanted to do a video with me. Dude, I'm so sorry that I just kind of ducked out. But hopefully this video will redeem me, I guess, because I do feel pretty bad that we weren't able to do a video together. So we're going to go ahead and hop to the gameplay here. So essentially this trip was very stressful before we even got into the van. Before the trip even started, it was very, very stressful because we originally had 4 people going and one unfortunately could not go. And basically what that meant was if we didn't have 4, we weren't going because the expenses were just too much on us to pay for 3 people. And so so basically I decided to pay for 2 people, and yeah, that was what I wanted to do. I just really wanted to go, and I said, okay, screw it, I'm just gonna go to this thing and I don't care. So we got into the van, and immediately we got hit by some traffic jams. I mean, honestly, it took like an extra 2 hours to get to the place, opposed to, you know, like on the way back we got the trip done in like I think about, I want to say maybe about like 4 or 5 hours, and I think on the way up there it was 7. So about 4 or 5 on the way back, about 7 up. But anyway, so that was kind of that kind of sucked a little bit, but you know, we were expecting that, honestly. But honestly, what happened that really just started kickstarting it off was we get to the motel, and Lonnie stops his van in the middle of traffic, and I just lost. Lonnie stops his van in the middle of traffic, and he starts griping because he doesn't like how the place looks. Like he's sitting in the middle of the parking lot just complaining. And that's what he did when he first got there, was he just complained about the place. And I don't know what he was expecting with the rate we had, like how much we were paying for the hotel room, or the motel room, excuse me. Mostly because of the fact like we didn't pay that much for it, so I just don't really get what he was complaining about or what he was expecting. But I don't know, that just kind of got on my nerves a little bit. Alrighty. Soften up one of these EXs, I guess. So he isn't stopping. Like, he's griping about really stupid stuff, and it's getting really annoying. And so yeah, we get up to the motel room itself, like after we checked in. Also, he griped about the lobby. I don't really get that either. We get up to the motel room, and he's griping because the place doesn't have an elevator, and it doesn't, I don't know, like it didn't have an elevator, and he had to walk up like maybe like one little flight of stairs. And then he gets in there, and it just really looked like he was just trying to find anything absolutely imaginable to gripe about in that room. Because he got in there, and he just got I saw him like walking around the room, and just, you know, he was just pointing out crap to gripe about. So he kind of started ruining the trip a little bit for us at that point. So then I actually started noticing legit problems with the room, like problems that were actually stuff to gripe about. The room had roaches in it. That was very disgusting. Also, it had questionable stains all over the sheets. I don't know what that was either. We threw that sucker off. But anyway, so we head back to the... we headed to the Marriott, and I headed back. We headed to the Marriott. And... yeah, we headed to the Marriott, and we decided, okay, let's just go ahead and just kind of look around the place, see what's all around here, and, you know, see if we could just make sure we can figure out how to get to this place tomorrow. And I probably should have played that trainer's mail to see if I could have got the muscle band, but it's all good. And I'm trying to think here. We got to the Marriott, and we met up with Michael, which was really cool. But okay, I was short 3 cards when I got to the event. I was short 3 cards, couldn't find any. I needed 2 crushing hammer and a Keldeo. I got the crushing hammers pretty quickly. I got them for about like 50 cents a piece, which really wasn't that bad. I didn't mind paying $1 for the card I need. And then we get to Keldeo. And Keldeo I could not find. I could not find Keldeo to save my freaking life. That sucks. Okay. So anyway, Keldeo, I could not find it. I don't know what it was. I just could not find that card. And that was really stressful because I was just running around trying to find this thing, finish my deck. I didn't know if I needed to probably try to switch out something, put something else in, play something else. Michael had one, but he had to go up there and look for it. And I didn't know if he'd be able to find it because, you know, I don't know like what old Michael had up there. So fortunately, I found it. I got a Keldeo from one of my really good friends. And we're going to hop into another gameplay here. I'm just going to go ahead and concede to this guy, because this isn't really an entertaining game. This is kind of just me playing as Pyroar. But we ended up getting it. And honestly, okay, at this point, I was like, okay, Trip's kind of sucking, but hey, let's just kind of keep a positive, you know, positive attitude. Then my mat gets stolen. So we had the Tyranitar and Groudon mat you could pick from. I went ahead and got the Tyranitar mat because they said you could get the Groudon mat tomorrow, and I just wanted to go ahead and get the mat and have it in my hands and just say, all right, forget it. While I was looking for the Keldeo, I guess I just like walked off without my mat, or I might have just put it down. But yeah, some kid stole my mat, and I got it back. The kid pretty much just kind of said he stole it in a sense, because we were trying to find my mat. I think we went up to the hotel room where Michael was staying, and he was helping Lonnie with his deck out, and I just realized, I was like, holy crap, I don't have my mat. So we went downstairs, and we were looking for it, and we met up with this kid who was following us around, and he said, what's up? And I said, I'm trying to find my mat, I can't find it. And he's like, well, if I find it, can I have it? And I wasn't really thinking. I was like, okay, he's not going to find it, so I just said sure. And so we're sitting in the hotel lobby. We're sitting there talking, waiting on Lonnie. Lonnie went up to the room and just never came back down. I don't know what it was, but he just never came back down. And we were really tired and hungry, and we wanted to try to get something to eat or try to go somewhere, you know, maybe like Walmart, because Ricky needed money and he needed to get some stuff out. And pretty much, honestly, at this point, Lonnie was just kind of being like a real big nuisance on Ricky and I. And on top of that, he wasn't wanting to go anywhere because of the fact he was going to take gas, even though at this point, Ricky and I were the ones paying for the gas. Yeah, so that made sense. So anyway, the kid walks by, and he holds up this Tyranitar mat that he said he didn't get. He said he got the Groudon one. And he said, look what I found. And it hit me, and it hit Ricky at the same time. This kid stole my mat. Like, there's no getting around it. This kid straight stole my mat. There's just no getting around that. So, well, we just kind of look at each other, and we're like, man, that's so messed up. And I really wasn't like sweating it too much. I was just like, okay, you know, it was like kind of like a free mat, and I got my EPTCG mat, so it's all good. But finally, we were like, okay, screw it. Okay, I called Michael. I texted Michael. Never said anything, so I was just like, so I just told him. I said, hey, Ricky and I are just gonna walk back to the hotel room. And then Lonnie calls me on Michael's phone because Lonnie didn't have a phone. That was frustrating as well, that he doesn't have a phone. See what we got in here. All we have is a Sycamore, really? Ugh. Anyway, he calls and he says, don't walk back. I'm coming back down because I don't know how to get back to the room. And so then we went to get some food, and I'm going to leave out this part of the story just for some personal reasons. But eventually we ended up going to this McDonald's after we got some gas. And and yeah, this is where it really hit me that we're in the hood. And we were in the hood. We were straight in the hood. There was just no getting around that. Like, there's no like arguments or nothing. We were in the hood, straight up. But We walk in and there's this girl who is like griping, and like cussing out her manager and all this crap. And she was talking about putting this woman in a coma, and was just, I mean, she was just like really, like, she was threatening taking her life. And there was just a lot of stuff that this woman was saying. And it was really terrifying. Yeah, she was just like really, like, she was just like really saying stuff that I honestly don't think you should be saying to someone, like, at all, because that's just really really scary. But okay, it took us like 20 minutes to order our food. I'm not even exaggerating right now when I'm talking about this stuff. I'm being like dead serious. It took us about 20 minutes or so to get our food and get everything. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So it took us about 20 minutes to get our food, or to order our food, and then it took about 30 minutes for us to get it. Get that out just in case we need another attacker. And I don't know if I should try to go ahead and just take the knockout this turn. Yeah, we'll go with it. But anyway, it took us forever to get our food, and I'm just gonna leave out some of the boring stuff in that. But like basically, this was like a terrible McDonald's. But finally, we get our food and we go back to the motel room. And before we left, before we headed to the Marriott, let me just kind of throw this out there. There was a beer can or a can sitting on the step, and Ricky almost tripped over it. And we were walking back up the stairs, and he almost tripped over it again. So he just kicked it over. I mean, he's like, forget it. So he kicks it over. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Yeah, so he just kicks it over. Like, I mean, he just kicked the thing over, didn't think much of it. We go back up there, and we eat our food. The food was really messy. It was cold. It was burnt, or it wasn't right. Like, let me just say that now. So, we're sitting there, and Lonnie goes back downstairs to get his sheet and stuff. And I heard some guys screaming whenever he walked outside. And he walks back, and he said that there were guys sitting out there talking about killing someone that knocked her drink over. And that was very terrifying in itself. Like, I mean, these people were just talking about, like, killing Ricky. Like, they didn't know it was him. Luckily, that was one good thing about that whole situation, was they didn't know that it was him who did it. But they were talking about killing him. And Lonnie just kind of came back and was like, I don't think we need to leave room for us tonight. And we didn't. We didn't leave at all. We just, that's cool. Got the victory. But, so we got ready for bed, and we locked the doors. We latched all the locks. Like every single lock absolutely imaginable. We latched the thing, and we pushed a chair in front of the door, too. And we went all out. So we're trying to go to bed. And I think, like, we were talking, and then we heard gunshots. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to make this story more interesting. We heard gunshots. Like, I'm not even kidding right now. Oh, what I should play. Like, we heard straight gunshots. And I'm just going to play some silly stuff. Let's just play silly stuff. So, we heard gunshots outside. We heard, like, a couple gunshots go off, and we were really, really scared. And I said, man, we're going to die. Finally, somehow, we fell asleep. I don't know why we fell asleep when there was gunshots outside. Ew, look at that hand. So, we wake up the next morning. It's even worse. Come on, bro. So, the next morning, we wake up. And let me think here. What else happened? I don't want to try to risk getting like 4 cards. I don't want to try to risk that. I got none of my stuff's loading. But anyway. So the breakfast was terrible. Let me just kind of throw that out there. The breakfast was absolutely terrible. It was like... it was like, okay, so it was like 2 dispensers of cereal, a dirty spoon. There was like a thing of Sunny D sitting out, and then there was like, there was like a thing of Sunny D, and there was like a gallon of milk. There was like smushed up bread. There was peanut butter that looked like someone like dug their finger into. And yeah, it was really disgusting. And there was like some jelly sitting there, and the toast took forever to make. That definitely sucked. Yeah, the toast took forever to make, and so we were pretty disappointed about that. But we went to the Marriott. We went ahead and just went on to the tournament. And I don't know what I'm supposed to try to do here. This is bad. Ugh, I don't like that. Just gonna go with it. But anyway, so at this point, the trip's already kind of sucking, and I'm still trying to keep a positive attitude about it, and trying not to really worry that much. But it's difficult, it's really difficult. Let's see. I'm just gonna try to soften it up with Raichu. Let's do this. We're gonna go for that and go for the Sycamore. Yeah. So we get to the Marriott. The tournament kicks off, and this is where the vlog started. Up for me anyway. Yeah, it's fine. Let's go with that. So, I actually run into the kid that stole my mat. I run into him, and he walks up and he says, "What's up?" And I'm like, no, F you. I was like, F you. You stole my mat, dude. I said, that's not cool. And he gave it back to me, and he actually wrote on the thing too. That's something else that really ticked me off, was he wrote on my mat. And so that just, oh my god, that was so freaking frustrating. Was that he wrote on my mat, and I had to come home and put nail polish remover on it just to get it off. And so the tournament's starting to suck. Like I'm already regretting my deck choice by like round 3. I was like, I don't think I picked something good. I think I should have just picked something I was a little more comfortable with, something that was just, I don't know, something I knew, what I was doing with. Because, I've played Toad before, but I've never played Giratina Seismitoad. And it honestly I don't know, it just felt like a different deck to me for some reason. But, so, I'm getting, like, Xerosic chained and, Flare Grunt chained. Like, it was just, I was hating it. And Ricky's card, for some reason, wasn't working at all when we got into Houston. So we were... he drew out enough money to pay with cash for, some of the trip. Just the stuff he had to pay for. And that was starting to get really, just frustrating too. Not something towards him, but just because, like, no matter what, his card wasn't working even though he had money on it. And eventually we found an ATM, and luckily his card worked on the ATM. So that was awesome, like, as cool as card worked. So he drew some money out, and then we kept on with the tournament, and finally, as soon as we hit 3 losses, we were like, screw it, we're done. We're so done. And we walked, we dropped and we left, and we were stressed, exhausted, and someone actually hit Stoke. I can't believe that. So we were just over this crap, and we were so done. And finally we went to Whataburger, got Ricky some food because he didn't get to eat during lunch. We went back to the motel room. And I'm trying to think. I'm trying to keep this, like, interesting, but, like, it's really hard for me to remember all this crap. And play at the same time. But we got back to the motel room, and again, we just barricaded the door because we were so terrified. Oh, yeah. We got back to the motel room, and our keys didn't work. We thought we got locked. We got locked out of the room, or the motel messed up, and thought I only got the room for one night. and so we were scared our stuff wasn't in there. So we had to go to the front desk and we had to get like new keys made. And we went back into the room, and we just kind of sat there and chilled. We heard people screaming outside and yelling, walking past our door, and eventually we fell asleep. And I think we fell asleep at about like 9 o'clock, and I think we slept until about 10 the next morning. We got up and we checked out. This is where I thought the whole stress was over. I was like, okay, we're on the road, we're good, it's done. We are on the highway for about 10 minutes. Probably about 10 minutes, give or take. And this car is pretty good ways in front of us, swerves across 4 lanes of traffic, and hits the wall because they overcorrected themselves. Like the back part of their car hit the wall, and they start swerving, and then the front of their car hit the wall, and then it hit again, and then it started like spinning out of control. And traffic on 2 lanes. There was a 4-lane highway. The 2 lanes on the left stopped, and the guy who was in the car, just like kind of was like, holy crap. And then there's a tow truck that came across. There's like conveniently a tow truck. And I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing right here. Make you waste it. Oh, that's not good. This is not good. So, this tow truck gets over, okay? Yeah, that's right. So this tow truck gets over, okay? And he stopped. Okay, so he's letting people through. And then when it comes up to us, he swerves and gets right in front of us really fast. Lonnie had to like slam on his brakes. And then the dude just sits there, okay? The guy is over, like, he is in the far left lane, the guy who wrecked, and then the tow truck's in the lane next to it where we're at, and he keeps trying to back up for some reason. Like, I mean, he just keeps backing up and up and up. Like, I mean, I don't know what he was doing, but like, I mean, he was honestly really about to hit Lonnie. So that was definitely really scary. And so we're sitting there, we're all screaming, we're all of us are just pissed. I mean, at this point, we are just so pissed we can't even, like, see straight. And it's because this trip was so frustrating. I know, and I left out some stuff on purpose just because of some personal reasons and some stuff I probably shouldn't be saying. And, all right, then. So, basically, we're sitting there and we're screaming, and the dude is not getting over. He sees us behind him. He's not getting over at all. He's not moving, doing anything. He's just sitting there. Sitting there being an ass, honestly. That's seriously what this guy's doing. So finally the guy gets over, and we drove by. Ricky and I shot him the finger. We pretty much just shot him the finger. We were so done. We're so over this crap. And yeah, we headed on home. Luckily, what did I do? Oh, here we go. There we go. Select that. Okay, we're good? Yeah, we're good. All right. So we headed on home. We got there in about 5 hours, like I said. And this has probably been like a really boring story for some of you. I apologize about that. But yeah, I got home and I watched some football and I just fell asleep. And Ricky and I were talking about just how happy we were that like the trip was over, because it was so stressful on us personally. Oh no. It was just so stressful because like we were just dealing with a bunch of crap, and that's pretty much what happened. It was just like it was one thing after another, just things wouldn't stop. Things just kept getting worse. And I flipped tails. So, yeah, I mean, it was overall. I mean, it like sometimes, like I mean, we really just kind of sat there and wondered why we even went. But we had no way of knowing that the trip was going to be that bad. Inky. So I mean, it sucked, you know, it really did. Like none of us did good, and what does that even do? Oh. So none of us did good, and you know it was. I just can't get over just how bad that trip was. I can't get over how bad that trip was, and just how stressed out I was and still am. Like I got home and I actually got sick from all the stress that I was under, and you know it was like there were times I was sitting there and I was like the only thing that can make this trip worse is if our van broke down. That was like really the only thing that could honestly make this make that whole trip just worse was as if the trip got or the van got broken down. Whatever I'm trying to say. Like thinking about it, like it's just horrible. Anyway, guys, that is gonna do it for this terrible story time. So, yeah, I'm sorry if the story was really bad and I stuttered a lot. You know, I was trying to think and get all that crap figured out, but. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you, and hopefully you enjoyed the regional videos. If you haven't checked them out, definitely go do that. Just thinking about this trip, just ugh. Anyway, you are amazing, guys. I love you, and this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. Take care.